All right, you're live. Okay, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Infrastructure Committee. And around the table, we have Councillor Dean, myself, Councillor Trimble, and Councillor Fortier, and Councillor Leonard, and City Engineer John Terrio. So why don't you kick us off with our first item?
All right, first item is council resolved to ratify staff actions. Rich May, the stormwater manager for the city. There was a DOT culvert grant out, application out, and Rich didn't think he was gonna be able to get to it. Came out, I think, June or something like that. And anyhow, he didn't think he had time to apply for it. We applied for it in the past and we didn't get it, but at the last minute, Rich had some time on his hands, so he said, "Do you want me to apply for this?" And I said, "Well, if it's a matter of just taking our old grant application that was pretty much ready to go," I said, go ahead and do it, and we'll explain it later." So that's what we're doing. It's a culvert on Essex Street, just south of actually a little north of Fox Hollow. There was a couple pictures in the addendum, in the agenda, but that kind of shows the width of the culvert there, and it's, very close to the edge of the pavement there. This is an area that we actually have a lot of accidents during the winter time because of icing. I think it's all leads, as a result of this culvert not functioning properly. It's not big enough. So anyhow, he put the grant application in. We estimated at about 300,000. We asked for 175,000 from Maine Dot, and city will chip in 125,000 if we get the grant, and this would be on next year's fiscal budget anyhow. So
Any comments or questions? I'm gonna entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
All right,
super, thank
seeing
you.
no doubt that has passage. The next is, every time I see these MDOT wins, I'm always like, this is a win.
It is a win.
The Mount Hope Avenue sidewalk.
Right, so we have a couple of sidewalk projects that have been in the works for a couple of years now. So we got a contract. This would give Debbie authorization to sign the contract with DOT for the Mount Hope Avenue sidewalk. This is sidewalk from Saratoga to about 700 feet west of Hogan Road. So we'll complete the sidewalk all along Mount Hope Avenue. It's about, let me see. I think it's about 2,100 linear feet of new sidewalk. There'll be a lot, it's kind of pricey because there's a lot of drainage associated with putting in the sidewalk, and there's a lot of drainage issues out there. So this was kind of, this project kind of is a sidewalk project, but it's also a drainage project. So total cost is $792,172. This is an 80-20 project, so the feds come up with 80%, which is $633,000. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, $633,737.60, and the city has to come up with $158,434.40. This is in this year's fiscal budget, so we have the money to do the project.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Seeing no doubts, that has passage. The next is MDOT win 28474.
All right, so
My favorite.
yeah, so we finally, this has been in the works a while too, and we
Yeah.
finally got the contract for this. So this is, actually, it's a multi-use trail from Ohio Street down to Valley Avenue on 14th Street Extension. It's about 1,900 feet of trail. It's gonna, on that section of 14th Street Extension, there's 3 lanes. We're basically gonna get rid of one of the lanes there to kind of help slow down people as well. So it'll be a single lane in each direction. The trail will occupy that additional pavement width that's there. We'll curb it. Got some drainage improvements to do with it. So this is total project cost for this one's $462,779. Again, it's a 80-20 match. So feds kick in $370,223, and the city has to come up with $92,555.
I do have a question on this one. Will there continue to be a right turn onto Ohio at the top?
Yes,
So like a 3?
yeah, nothing's changing at the very top.
Okay.
We have a panel up there that we can use for the, and we might not get the complete 8 feet of sidewalk there. It might be, 10 feet will probably be cut down to 8 feet, and then we'll widen it as we go down the roadway. So yeah, the turn lanes are all staying the same.
Okay.
It's just really that climbing lane
Yeah.
coming up the hill.
Excellent. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
We have motion and a second, no doubts that would have passage. So the next one is Broadway, North Park Street, Stillwater.
Right, so this is the traffic signals that, I mean, I always think of it as Broadway and Stillwater coming together, but it's actually a little section of North Park Street. This is just complete traffic signal replacement there. Right now, they're on span wires, wood pole span wires. We're gonna put them on steel mast arms. We have some pedestrian improvements for this traffic signal that we're gonna do out there too. This is it's a lot of money. $714,699 is the total project cost. This is a 80-10-10 project, so we only have to kick in 10%. State's kicking in 10%, the Fed's kicking 80%. So the Fed share is $571,759, and the state and the city share is $71,469.90. This is in this year's budget as well.
So that will happen this year?
It'll be designed over the winter and have, all of these now we're too late in the season to get any more
So-
construction, sorry.
So you're talking next year?
We're talking next year
Yeah.
construction season, yeah.
No, we just agree that it is a lot of money, and it seems like the intersection works well, I hear quite often people on North Park. That are coming across Broadway to Stillwater, that they miss that, the light misses them sometimes, so this will correct that issue.
Yeah, and actually, if you're at that intersection, if you're on Stillwater making the left onto Broadway, right, all you get is a ball.
Right,
And so you're not sure if the other person,
Yeah,
you're not
exactly,
familiar with,
yeah,
you're not
right.
sure if they're going or
Yeah.
not, so you kind of, everyone sits there and waits, and so this will correct it where there'll be a
Arrow.
left turn arrow there.
Okay,
Nice.
good.
And yes, it's all new detection.
Great.
So, and I think this should be plenty of money for this. I mean, most of these projects, engineering, either, you know, me, Ted, Jeff, all the guys in engineering work on the estimates typically for it. This one went straight to Bax, and they had a consultant do the estimate, and they're even more cautious than we are, I think. So I think there should be plenty of money to do this job here.
Counselor Dean.
You said the new technologies, is this the AI technology they've used elsewhere?
No, it's just upgraded traffic signal equipment.
Mhm.
I mean, we do have, our new stuff is Centrax, which we have in operation finally on the Penobscot corridor, and we're gonna be looking to implement that on other, you know, the other corridors
Mhm.
in the city, as well as isolated busy intersections. And that allows us to communicate with the traffic signal off-site and see what's happening, but
Mhm.
I don't know anything about any AI for the traffic signals. Maybe I'm behind the
There's one.
times.
There's one that they've employed, so,
Oh, all right, Centrax. That's what
so
we're
that,
talking.
Yes.
so it is, okay,
It's adaptive.
yeah.
So okay, I guess it's,
Kind of.
I really never thought of it as AI, but I guess it could be, because what happens is, you know, that it monitors the traffic and it adjusts the traffic signals based on the traffic signal timing based on the amount of traffic that's coming.
Yeah.
And that's a little different than what we've had in the past.
I'm just learning about it, but
Yeah, obviously I am too.
Great. Counselor Fortier.
Why did Bax get involved?
Well, Bax is involved in most of these projects because
Okay.
they're our metropolitan planning organization. So basically, a majority of the money that we get gets funneled to the planning organization, MPO, Bax, and then we compete with the other 11 towns that are in Bax for the money. You know, Bangor being the biggest fish in the pond, we get the majority of the money. But so typically what they do is we'll send them an outline of a project, and we'll typically send them the estimate as well. But on this one, I think this was kind of a last minute one that we sent them, and they have a consultant go and do all the estimates for the other towns, because most of the other towns don't have staff that can come up with the cost estimates decently or closely. So, so I was just surprised when we got this number back that it was 714,000 for a single traffic signal. I mean, I'm good with, you know, there are 400,000 now, but 700,000 is a little high, but we'll spend it somehow.
All right, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Seeing no doubts, that has passage. And the last is the discontinuance of.
Yeah,
Apple
you
tree.
guys have kind of seen this before.
Yeah.
I kind of messed up when we sent out the notices. There were 3 abutters, and there's a little communication error in engineering, and so we missed one of the abutters. So no one has any issues with this. But in order to make it formal and make it right, because an attorney got involved, We're gonna go through it one more time. So I held the public meeting again and no one showed up. And I addressed the engineer's report to show that we've now had two public meetings, contacted all the abutters and we're good to go. So it's gonna have to go through this last process again to go to council and get approval one more time.
Right.
So sorry about that.
Any comments or questions? Need another motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, and seeing no doubts, that has passage, and that concludes our infrastructure meeting. Thank
All right.
you,
Thank you very much.
Mr. Terrio.
Is this
Thank
your
you for
last?
BED.
It's my last infrastructure meeting.
Infrastructure
yeah.
Good luck.
Soak it all in.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
Short and sweet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. We need to end that meeting.
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was.
That's okay, thank you.